video, we will cover biodiversity and ecosystem services and major themes and concepts related to these topics. Let's start with biodiversity. Biodiversity is defined as the variety of life on Earth. The term also includes species, genetic, and ecological diversity. Genetic diversity refers to the variation of genes among individuals of the same species. For example, not all humans look or are shaped the same way, but we are all a part of the same species. Species diversity refers to the variety of species present in an area, including the number of different species that are present, as well as their relative abundance. For example, a tropical forest may have a plethora of different plant and animal species present in its ecosystem, and one area of the forest may be abundant in a particular animal species due to the presence of certain food sources. Finally, ecological diversity refers to the variety of habitats, niches, trophic levels, and community interactions. Continuing with the tropical forest example, ecological diversity would refer to the living and non-living elements of this ecosystem that make it unique and distinct, like the presence of a river that may serve as a water source for organisms and a habitat for some fish. Endemism is another key term when talking about biodiversity. This term refers to the uniqueness of a species to a singular ecosystem in the world. These places where endemism is high are known as biodiversity hotspots. These hotspots usually contain large numbers of endangered species and therefore need to be preserved and protected in order to sustain the existence of those species. There are several threats to biodiversity that we see today, including habitat destruction, the introduction of invasive species, pollution, overharvesting, and anthropogenic climate change. All of these forces threaten the loss of valuable biodiversity that is necessary for a healthy and thriving planet. There are two tactics that are used in conservation efforts to protect biodiversity loss. One is a single species conservation, where organizations focus on preserving and protecting a single species that is endangered. The other is ecosystem conservation, where efforts are focused on preserving a whole ecosystem in which an endangered species lives. Biodiversity contributes to a healthy and sustainable ecosystem, which in turn provides ecosystem services. Ecosystem services are the many and varied benefits that humans freely gain from the natural environment and from properly functioning ecosystems. There are three main categories that we can place types of ecosystem services in. 1. Cultural benefits. Cultural benefits are dependent on the person enjoying them. Some people gain comfort through the spiritual aspects of an ecosystem or recreational, like hiking, kayaking, scuba diving, and much more. Others get joy from aesthetics of an ecosystem or through education, like an outdoor kids camp. 2. Human provisions. Another thing ecosystems provide for humans are different things that we can use for our health and growth. A lot of things like food, fuel, and even pharmaceuticals come from different ecosystems. For example, a large amount of medicine that we have today is used because different plants in the rainforest ecosystems were discovered to have the chemical components that we need to treat certain illnesses. 3rd, ecosystem regulation and support. This last ecosystem service helps us in a less direct way. Ecosystems provide us with things we need to survive, like oxygen, air and water purification, climate regulation, and population control. Trees provide us with the oxygen we need to breathe, and fires and natural disasters provide us with the natural population control. Dams made by beavers and fallen trees function as natural flood control, stopping massive flows of water to certain areas. These are just some examples of ways that ecosystems can assist us in living a balanced life without us having to think about it. Overall, ecosystem services are a valuable part of our world, both monetarily and inherently. From the tundra in Antarctica to the rainforests of the Amazon to the coral reefs under the sea. We need to do everything we can to preserve our ecosystems and protect biodiversity so that we can live a full and prosperous life here on Earth. We cannot take our planet for granted, so be proactive and educate yourself about our natural world.